you doing, guys? Good afternoon. It's been a while. I've been preoccupied with missions, things I had to work on, and I've been silent on social media, but that's about to change. I'm going to be launching a lot of content in the very, very near future, and if you dig it, it's awesome, and if you don't, that's cool too. Not everything is for everybody, so one of the things I've been working on recently is integrating parts of my shadow. This is a concept taught by psychologist Carl Jung, and the shadow, as Jung defined it, part of the definition was an unconscious aspect of the personality that the conscious ego does not identify in itself. Basically, the ugly parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at. We don't want to admit that we think a certain way or feel a certain way or act a certain way. Now, a lot of this, if not most of it, or all of it, is done in an unconscious state. It's done subconsciously, meaning the person doesn't really know that they're doing it for the most part, which gets tricky, because then it's like, well, if I have this part of myself that is out of sync or out of balance or needs integration and needs work, how do I identify it? How do I find the culprit, work on it, and then bring it back so that I can be the best version of myself that I can be? It's part of the healing journey. Some of you are on it. More of you are coming. I believe all of you are coming. You just don't know it yet. So it's like there's a couple ways to identify a shadow. All right? Mirrored reality concept, your environment, and triggers. All right? Mirrored reality concept is basically like our interpersonal relationships have a way of reflecting back to us parts of ourself that we need to work on. Have you ever heard you name it, you claim it? All right? So let's say you get triggered by your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and you're like, oh, I hate when they do this. I can't stand when they act like this. Well, newsflash, a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, I don't know, maybe it's all the time, I'm not sure, I'm learning too, so be patient with me. And I'm going to give you a really good source that's more informed on this matter than I am. This is just really for me to reach out to my local community to help people within my social media sphere identify and understand things that are maybe going on with them, and then reach out to the resources. So think of me as like a bridge, or like gap insurance, in a way. Okay? So, a lot of the times, it's because there's stuff that we need to work on in ourselves. Alright? Now, I believe during the awakening process that there is events of what would be referred to as karmic rebounds. I call them karmic rebounds, excuse me. And I believe that they materialize for the purpose of acknowledgement of past or present behaviors to be adjusted. Alright? Lil Wayne has a great line. I mean, he's got many, many great lines. It's like so awesome. But it's what goes around comes around like a hula hoop. Karma is a bitch. Just make sure that bitch is beautiful. Alright? So, in a situation I was in, I had a partner, that was kind of controlling, dishonest. There was a lot of gaslighting, and I believe some infidelity. Okay? And the funny part about it is, he would be like, that doesn't sound funny at all. Well, like, it wasn't, but right now, it's okay. Because I had to take a look at all that shit and wonder, well, like, why Why'd this happen? I'm sure a couple of my exes right now probably see this video and they're like, I know why I fucking happened, motherfucker. I'm sorry, that's not something to be laughed at. It's pain, and I wish that if I can go back in time and beat the shit out of myself. I'm not really a violent guy. I'm just not a violent guy today, but I can't change the past. The past is not changeable. You know, all we have is the now that builds what people refer to as the future, which doesn't really exist. But I'm getting off track. That experience, okay, was for a multitude of reasons. Two of the reasons that I identify is, one, that was my karma coming back at me. You know, because God had blessed me with some amazing relationships when I was younger. One in particular, that was just amazing. Just an amazing human being. Loving, caring, beautiful, empathetic, wise beyond her years. And what did I do? You know, I shit on it, is what I did. I did all those things. I was controlling, dishonest, gaslighting, and definitely infidelity. And now I could look at that behavior and identify where I subconsciously self-destructed and destroyed myself based on traumatic experiences, based on the adverse childhood experience scale, based on all of these things. But at the end of the day, that doesn't get me off the hook. You know, I believe that when we have empathy for what people have been through and understand that people are acting out subconsciously more times than not when they're engaging in this self-destructive behavior, it helps us crack the door, so to speak, for forgiveness or for, you know, understanding. Maybe not forgiveness, just understanding, you know. But at the end of the day, we have free will and we make the choices that we make. So that just is what it is. But anyways, this is part of my karmic payback for that. God sent me a miracle, a blessing, and God said, bet. Okay, young man. Well, here comes the pain train, bro. So, you know, I had to go through that, and but it was a learning experience, and you know, it also snapped my spiritual awakening, part of my spiritual awakening. And like, I've had, I believe, a couple throughout my lifetime, but this one was like some different shit. This one was just, I can't, words don't do it justice. You know, when God says, yo, what's up? What the fuck is going on here? You know, it's like, it's wild. So anyways, now I have here in these notes here, the ego acts as a protector. It shields us from things that cause us pain. It's like a defense mechanism, okay? And I have this quote that I recycled. I'm kind of like the king of recycling. It's kind of like a thing of mine, right? So it's like, you'll learn more about that later. But it's like, the ego makes the ego makes a great Robin, but a god-awful Batman. All right? So basically, like, can't let the ego call the shots. You know, when we're acting strictly out of ego, shit is not fun. It's not great. We feel like shit. You know, we think we're okay, but we're not. And it's like, you know, so part of this process is deflating that ego a little bit. You know? Now, I feel like the ego gets a bad rap also, because the ego is a built-in part of us. God made us. So it's like, to say it's all bad would be like God's made a mistake. He doesn't make mistakes. He just doesn't. And so it's like, you know, but we have free will. And the more we feed it without feeding it a healthy diet, basically, you know, it could get, really don't want to curse, it get jacked up. Okay? And then it'll shield us, thinking it's protecting us, But really, at a certain point, it becomes, when it's too inflated, it's shielding us from things that we desire, things that could help us, out of fear of past experiences repeating themselves. The ego's like, no, we went through that once, I'm not doing that. I'm going through something like that right now, actually, where it's like, because of some painful past relationships, and feeling like I put my heart into something, and it genuinely, for, I don't know, like maybe one of the first times ever in my life, and then left with a turd sandwich. The next time love came around, wonderful woman, beautiful woman, having a hard time getting my walls down. I'm having a hard time opening up. Not opening up, but I'm having a hard time allowing love in. And it's my ego. It's part of my ego. It's trying to protect me, saying, no, we're not doing that again. I'm not feeling that pain again. Fuck that. Don't you remember, bro? You died. Dark night of the soul. One death, I think that's pretty good. For me. So, it's like, the last thing is, as I just said, I basically just touched on it, is where it gets tricky, is that there's a point where it could become overactive and begin to cause detriment. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but this is basically it. So the last thing is, the woman's YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a link in the description, is called Christina Lopes. Alright? If any of this stuff resonated with you, and you feel as though you're being guided to start your healing journey, or you are aware that you're in the middle of it, things are feeling different to you, that job that might be a good job, a good job on paper, but just doesn't feel right anymore. You want to pursue your passions. I don't know, you're spending more time in nature, you're looking at sunsets differently. All of these things are symptomatic of an awakening. And if you're experiencing them, I strongly urge you to check out Christina Lopes, okay? That's a good place to start. She's been a wonderful, wonderful teacher of mine, and she's just amazing energy. I told you that I was going to leave breadcrumbs, and I've been leaving breadcrumbs on my social media for over a year. And although some of the breadcrumbs might be a little dusty, because I was growing and learning as I went, so I had to take some time to kind of look at what kind of information I'm putting out there and make sure it resonates deeply with my soul, and that I know it to be as close to accurate as I can. This is life, okay? Nobody's ever going to have it all figured out, and if anybody says that they do and you should listen to them, you should probably fucking run. Just cursed. Okay? I don't know everything, and I will never know everything. Alright? I'm a student of the universe, and I will forever be a student of the universe, and so will you, if you choose to acknowledge that. It's a learning process. So all I'm trying to do is help guide you a little bit and help bring you to some of the pieces puzzle pieces. It's like an analogy. We all have puzzle pieces, and as we share them together, we start forming a picture. And I'm just trying to show you what I learned, and so that you could apply it to your life, so that you could be everything that you were designed to be, the co-creator of your own reality. If you don't like your life right now, why don't you change it? You can. To think that you're stuck or that you can't is it's an illusion. It's not real. It feels real. Fear feels real, but it's not. Okay, it's not to say that pragmatism gets thrown out the window, but when we start to realize there's more to this world than strictly pragmatism, and we approach it from a two-headed kind of approach, instead of a single 2 + 2 is 4 and that's it, and I don't care. Let me tell you what, doors start opening, things start happening. You become happier. You become different. You become what you're designed to be, not a product of your environment and your experiences. You are not your past experiences. Okay? Yes, they helped form your personality. Yes, they helped form the person that you are, for better or for worse. The shadow work is part of the way for you to take those worst aspects, look at them, twist them around now, and take a liability and turn it into an asset, and then give it away to people and let them do the same thing. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be in Mayberry whistling Dixie with Andy Griffith, but like, I don't know, maybe. You know what I mean? So like, why not give it a shot? Why not give yourself the best shot that you can to be the best version of yourself? I think you deserve that. I know you deserve that. Same as I deserve that. That being said, now we're already at the 16-minute mark. I love you guys very much, man. And if you guys want to give me a follow over at Authentic Alchemist, basically on all the social medias, but on YouTube, I have 2 channels. The Authentic Alchemist channel is basically like my diary. It's basically just like my thoughts, whatever they may be. I'm not doing this to get a subscriber count. I don't really give a shit about ever monetizing the channel. That's not my goal for that. I really don't care about that. It's just a platform for me to speak my mind, and a platform for me to share what I've learned and help you become the best version of you that you could be. It's part of my mission. It's part of why I came here. So I love you guys very much. I'm going to go take care of the rest of my day, and I hope you guys have a great day. And be kind to other people, you know, because they are an aspect of yourself. We are all an aspect of God. And when you're being mean and cruel to other people, you're actually hurting yourself. Just food for thought. Peace and love.